Oh, hello. Oh, you caught me. I am here, and I am a lady wizard.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello and welcome to the youtubeyogscast guide to sort of spotlight of the Elementalist class. Now, I hesitate to call it a guide. I hesitate to call it a spotlight. We don't really know what we're talking about. Basically, this is very complicated. Look how many abilities there are that an Elementalist has.
God.
I mean, with a staff, you've got 20 different abilities. Because your class sort of ability is to do this, is to change your attunement to ice, air, and earth. And they each give you a completely different hotbar full of abilities. So there's a lovely sort of thingy there, and there's other stuff there.
Oh my
and
God.
It's crazy. Now, you can... This is a good example with combo fields. Those two I just chained together there are an example of a combo field. So the earth one is a combo field starter, and the fire one is a finisher. So if you cast them both together, they do bonus damage. Anyway, fireball, pretty standard. Auto attack, pretty normal. Since I'm using a staff, I've got a lot of AoEs. So that's lava font. That's the second ability. And flame burst is an AoE that goes off when you target someone. I've just accidentally put it on cooldown, but it will hit people around. Burning retreat.
Whoa!
Makes you run away and leave this fiery wall. And the fifth ability is to summon an enormous freaking meteor storm.
Which doesn't. Oh,
there you go.
No.
I hit the dough a couple of times, but as you can see, it's a bit weird. So 3 of these abilities are AoE, and one of them is a retreat. Quite interesting. Water, you get a lovely splashy damage, and this actually heals people around the blast radius of near. Also, when you change to water, you heal people near you a little bit, so you get a little bit of a bonus when you actually change attunement, so you are encouraged to do that. That is an ice sort of thing that drops on people. This is a healing well, so it's actually a heal. It's not actually an attack. It's the only heal that I've found that is a dedicated heal. And then there's a Frosty Ground, which is obviously a great thing for PvP. And there's another AoE. Look at all these AoEs. A big well of healing magical love, I think. I'm not sure what else that does. That's another heal. I'm just putting heals. Oh no, it's not a heal. Ice. I'm having trouble killing this deer because it's all kind of healy stuff.
Yeah.
And then lightning. Chain lightning, which is my favourite ability probably in the game. Apart from that one which the Guardian has, which knocks people back like for 6. Oh, and several other abilities, but I'll show you those later.
Oh yeah.
So, chain lightning bounces around to different people. It's a pretty good one actually. It's an auto attack, but it's sort of multiple target, and it doesn't rely on a cone, and it doesn't rely on any of the other stuff. It's just good AoE goodness. Great for sort of PvP and stuff like this, and also leveling. Lightning Surge is a blind, so it's quite a defensive ability. You also get a knockback, which is the third ability, Gust, and the fourth ability is a movement speed buff. So I'm not sure where I'm going to cast that, but it's an area effect movement speed. There you go.
Whoa.
So that gusts them, and it's not super great, but it's okay. So they're blinded, and I can roll back, and these wolves keep like extra ones spawning. I found that in the engineer video. I think it might be a bug with wolves. They just, when you kill them, an extra one spawns.
No, I think wolves call for friends. So you know when you aggro them, they howl and another wolf comes.
So this is a lightning field, a bit like a poison field. When people shoot through it, people can get sort of blinded and dazed, and whatever the electrifying damage is. It's a combo field. So there's a couple of AoE combo fields. That's one of them, and then the other one is this one, Eruption. It's a combo finisher of Blast. So it's something you chain together with other combo fields. I'm not 100% sure on this actually combo fields. I think we might have to learn more about.
So
those.
You're throwing rocks at a deer.
So I'm lobbing rocks at a deer. I accidentally cast that over there because that's nowhere near. What was I doing? Let's ponk that one down here.
Try again.
And it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be some sort of a root, or I'm not sure. Not sure exactly what it does. Magnetic aura reflects projectiles, so I can cast it on myself, and it'll save me from being absolutely shot in the face. And then there's a wall of rocks where they can't actually get through it. So it's actually a block. It's like a It actually blocks people from going through it. And the graphic isn't great, and I think it's probably temporary.
Yeah.
But it stops people from getting through. And the last ability is Shockwave. It's like a frontal push thing that does damage in a line in front of you. It's quite a long line. Many of the abilities in Guild Wars aren't really that long ranged. So sometimes you have trouble I've had trouble getting people in range. But that's a long line. So I'm just sort of spazzing back and forth between the elements to do a little bit of bonus damage and not getting killed by this wolf. So I'm spazzing out a bit, knocking him back into the lightning field and stuff, that kind of jazz. So they do synergise together quite well. I've also got this rune. This isn't the basic heal. The heal I'm using is actually one of the traded ones that I spent a skill point on. That's the basic one. When you heal yourself, it buffs you quite a lot, depending on what spec you're in. So you get sort of a defensive spec or a regen according to what spec you're in when you use that one. But I'm actually using this one here, which grants health every time I cast. So it heals me as I go, and that's a very nice thing for leveling. Glyph of Lesser Elementals, Arcane Power, Conjure Flame Axe. There's a whole bunch of different
Oh
things.
god. And they're all different depending on what attunement you have.
To some degree, some of them are, some of them aren't. The elemental is different. I'm not sure about the tornado. I didn't actually spec that, so I'm sorry. I'm very ignorant about that. That's the kind of epic form where you turn into a big tornado and you blow around. I don't exactly know what that does. So I can summon elementals based on what colour I'm in. So I can summon a fire elemental, I can change it to water and summon a water elemental. And these, most of the time, ice elemental, sorry. These most of the time just do damage, but some of them have their own little individual abilities. So the ice one puts down that snaring field. The fire one does a bit of extra damage, AoE, there you go, a little explosion-y type thing. So, you know, this will depend. And there's also a series of conjure spells that you cast on the ground, and it drops an item on the ground that someone can pick up. So Conjured Flame Axe. It also gives you one. So it gives you one and puts one on the ground. So one of your allies can pick it up.
Oh my god.
And that changes the abilities on your hotbar. So beyond your original 20 abilities, you can also summon in weapons and change your hotbar, or provide them. You can drop. So basically, you can drop 2 of these on the floor for other people to pick up. So if you're playing with a whole load of useless warriors, you can supply them with some ranged weapons if you're attacking a keep, for example, and they don't want to use their rifle, or they want to do some AoE, or gives you a bit of flavour. There's all sorts of other conjured weapons too, sort of a bow and various others. And the other thing I've got is an arcane power, which basically just is a sort of temporary buff that boosts my damage for a short period of time. So let's switch out to some of the other weapons. I showed daggers before.
Oh god, a whole bunch of different skills.
Daggers give me, again, entirely different 20 skills, which is insane. But there are similarities in them, you know. So, you know, you've got, and daggers also a lot closer range than staff. Staff is the kind of AoE spec, okay, whereas daggers is a kind of closer range, up close and personal spec. So a fire breath, I mean, this is something which doesn't really have a lot of utility beyond very close range, and also the jump forward instead of back.
Wow. It's the same spell, but you go forwards instead of roll backwards.
Because you kind of need to in the spec to get into, you know, battle range. These daggers are kind of funny. They hit, all 3 of them hit if you're right up next to them, but they sort of, if you're doing it into an AoE, it'll do more damage. Ring of Fire doesn't actually damage anyone in the Ring of Fire, but damages anyone running in and out of the Ring of Fire. Also very short duration. And then I think the last one is another sort of fire breath. So in fact there's 2 fire breaths, but that one does extra damage to people who are already on fire. This is beta, so I think probably the fact that though there are 2 fire breaths is probably going to change. And also, I mean, out of all these abilities, you really only have one kind of attack. A lot of it is utility, so movement, and then the Ring of Fire. This is the cool, like, water shuriken thing. Again, not great range, but it does damage to everyone in the line, and then damage on the way back as well. So it hits twice, on the way out and on the way back. And it actually does decent damage. Pretty good damage. Second ability is a sort of a conal spray of icy blast, so a bit like the fire one.
Ooh.
Just blowing it on that guy. This here is a frost nova type thing, which is player-based area of effect, so it hits people around you. That's like frost armor, which chills people who hit you. It doesn't last super long. And this one here is a cleansing wave that clears debuffs off people near you. So it's kind of it's something to cleanse debuffs on you, and it's actually a good way of escaping. So if someone's in your face, crippled you, you hit that, cleanse the debuffs of you and your allies, and you run away. That's a good one. It's actually very good. That is not what I expected.
You roll back,
roll back, but it's also a speed boost. Short duration speed boost. So it's sort of an escape mechanism. Just sort of doing this quest for some reason, just seeing what's going on here. It's a random guy mucking around. So the first ability is the lightning lash. The second ability is to ride the lightning to your foe. That's right, that's the fourth ability.
What?
I don't think it is supposed to knock you back, this updraft, actually. It seems to, though. I don't think it says it on the tooltip, but it does seem to do it. So, obviously you've got Lightning Lash, which is very, very short range. I'm actually managing to hit this thing, of course it's quite a big thing. Second ability is a blind, as I showed in the sort of Elementalist playthrough. And the third ability is a sort of a stun thing, which, again, pretty short duration on this stuff, but it stuns anyone who hits you.
Yeah.
And yeah, all very close up. All very close up. The Earth stuff isn't quite so close up, I don't think. This is impale your foe on a giant spike, which is the most ridiculous looking ability in the world.
Wow.
So that keeps coming out of the ground there. Which I'm enjoying immensely.
It kind of matches because you got the dagger and you're doing the same movement with the dagger as the shard of rock is.
Ring of Earth, which is very cool looking, and that damages people around you. So that's a player-based effect to get a bit like Frost Nova. This is a charge. I yank myself towards someone, yoink, and then I hit them with some amazing rocks. This triggers an earthquake at my location, knocking people down. And this one is a channeled spell, which I don't actually know what that does.
Kills everything.
Cripple, bleed, and it's a combo finisher. So none of these, you'll notice, on I think any of these lines were plonked down, ground targeted. Whereas with the staff, a lot of the abilities were placed with your mouse where you wanted them. Whereas none of these ones are. So this is a lot more action-oriented role. Okay, now we've got Scepter and Focus. Now, I had a little go with the Scepter, but I didn't show the Phoenix, which is the cool sort of third ability. So you've got your basic sort of flame strikey type ability, and then you've got your Dragon's Tooth, which drops a tooth down. So it warns people where it's coming down with that ground target, but it's not a player targeted. It comes down on your current target. Okay, it's nice to have these abilities that aren't.
I see the Phoenix. I see the Phoenix.
The Phoenix here is a ground target, and it flies out, hits, and then flies back. So it actually does damage on the way out and back as well. And also there's a Wall of Fire, which is quite an interesting one. So it burns people who run through it. I think that's it. I'm not sure you running through it actually does anything. I might run through it, I might not. And I've got a Fire Shield, which sets people on fire if they hit me, I believe. So there you go, I'm setting everything on fire. Amazing. So this is like kind of medium range, you know. So it's got a bit of both the dagger and a bit of the staff. So it's kind of a combo of those two that we previously saw. Obviously, the offhand can be switched to give it versatility. So this is still the Scepter Focus I'm showing. Ice Shards, they look amazing. There's a ground targeted thing, a crystal thing, which kind of explodes. I love how pretty that is.
All of these animations are just incredible, aren't they? I mean, my god.
And then there's like an ice trident thing, which doesn't actually look a lot like an ice trident. It heals allies and does damage to enemies, so it's kind of a bit of a combo. You can use it both ways. And this is a chill, which freezes someone in place. Not that it's useful against these worms, because they're kind of frozen in place anyway. And the last one is a comet of ice that you drop on the target area. And it takes a little while to come down. There you go. And I think it's multiple comets of ice, not just one. It keeps coming down, so it's like kind of raining 3 comets of ice. That might be a temporary animation, I'm not sure. But that's what it looks like currently. With air and the scepter, so many abilities. It's taking us forever to go through this stuff. You cast an arc of lightning. What's this do? Oh, this is cool. Look at it. It's like a channeled auto attack, and it causes them to spaz out. It's amazing. It's basically like being the Emperor in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But you can't see like lightning coming out of your hands. It just sort of makes them. It's like torture. Ooh. It's amazing, and you can obviously cast it while you run around. And also the animation that your character does is amazing. The worm spazzes out. It's just a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. The cool thing about this auto attack is that you can sort of keep doing it while you cast some of the other skills as well. So this is the lightning strike, which is actually instant, and you can hit this when you're doing your channel as well. So it won't interrupt your channel of your attack. And the same thing with this blinding flash, so you can blind people instantly while you're doing your electrical channel, which is kind of a weird playstyle. So you can hit these other abilities while you're keeping your channel up. And in fact, it's quite weird, as you can see. Look at it. It's that a bit strange. So the offhand is something a bit more normal. It's an area of effect thing here, which blocks projectiles, I think. And this one is a knockdown. So I mean, bear in mind like how I've got main hand offhand. This could be totally messed up and give a totally different, synergy with another offhand. And there is another couple of offhands you can use, and I think I'm probably going to show this. I mean, you could even use a dagger in your offhand. So I've already got like confusion going on. I could use dagger and then focus these abilities in the offhand. There's a lot. There's a lot of variety here.
You can't quickly change weapons though. That's an element to this.
No, you can't. You're locked in one
ridiculous
set of weapons. That would be insane. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. So with Scepter, I've got this thing where I can actually summon this sort of defensive line of rocks around me, and then I can throw them. I've also got this. I think it's a blind. I'm just looting these for some reason. And then I've got, what's that? Is that a speed boost? No, it's not. So that's rock barrier. So I've got 5 rocks that are sort of surrounding me, and I can lob them. And they function as physical projectiles, like bullets or like guns. So I can shoot through poison fields and have them, poison stuff, that kind of thing. So it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Picking on poor Bambi again.
So yeah, that's a blind with a combo finisher of whirl. So I spin round and do that. My main auto attack is also a throw rock, and that there is damage foes remove, and that one is an invulnerability for 4 seconds. So, that's a very useful one actually. Very very useful for PvP if you're being focused. 4 seconds is a long time in PvP. So I'm just lobbing rocks and auto attacks, throwing stuff out. I'm not sure what the best way to play this is, but I'm just trying out some of the other different abilities and seeing if I can get them all off cooldown and see how it sort of looks and how quickly stuff dies when you sort of switch between them. I mean, there's no real cooldown on these. Well, there are cooldown on the lightning bolts, so I suppose it is worth sort of switching like this and putting everything on cooldown. I don't know. I don't know what the best way to play this kind of thing is. I guess it is to very quickly keep swapping between attunements, and kind of using skills that you require at the time. this looks, honestly, this looks like one of the most difficult classes to play, from what I've seen, because figuring
Do
out.
you have traits based on your attunements, or?
Yes, yes. So your traits will improve the different 4 lines, as well as I think the 5th trait line is arcane, and there's certain skills that are based on arcane rather than other types of thing. So I think the idea really is that each of these 4 lines are actually linked to a certain stat. So the fire one is the sort of the pure power stat, whereas the earth is more of a toughness stat. I think that's the feeling. So when you buff traits like that, you want to be more kind of I'm summoning an air elemental and an earth elemental now. So the air elemental is like a little wisp thing, and the earth elemental, I've completely forgotten to use arcane power, which boosts my damage because there's too much else going on. Oh my god. So yeah, hard one, a hard class to play, I think, to play well, and a huge amount of abilities to use. A lot of them kind of very situational, very, very cool, and a whole load of different stuff. I don't think I've even covered all the different weapons you can use. But there you go. What do you think, man?
My god. I mean, it's going to take people weeks playing this class to figure it all out.
To unlock it, first of all.
Oh my god.
To unlock all the different abilities. So you have to go through and play with all of these different starts to unlock all the skills in the first place.
Blimey.
I'm not going to cover the trident, which is the underwater sort of weapon. And that's got all its own abilities as well. Murky water and all sorts of weird stuff. Magma orb. It's kind of cool. So yeah, thank you for watching. What's the other one we haven't seen yet? Warrior, of course, my favourite. So look forward to those.
Goodbye!